Welcome to the Setbreaker Podcast, and today we have a very, very special guest. What's your name and what do you do? Say it right now.
I'm Daniel Lee. I am a dentist comedian.
Dentist comedian, but you are a dentist. What are you wearing right now, you dentist?
I'm wearing my scrubs, the ones I wear every day to go to work. Figs.
And some nurses will wear those too?
Some nurses.
Okay, because I've been seeing these women in scrubs now, and like, why does it accentuate their ass and stuff? Is it because it's like modern day now? No, they look so hot. Like the women in scrubs now are so hot now.
It's essentially sweatpants. It's essentially like they're just trying, for figs at least, I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make sure like, hey, like we save lives, but we also look good.
Okay, so let me touch this. That's why it's like almost yoga-like material.
Yeah,
that's why they look so hot in that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like super comfortable.
Yeah,
and for someone like me, it starts it starts to accentuate like all the curves, but really? Like for the right people, it looks really good. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I want to go to the dentist thing, right? So you've been a dentist for 3 years?
3 years. I graduated 2019. And then I went to residency at UCLA for like 2 years. And then I didn't finish residency. I was like, I don't like this. So I opted out and then I started working the last year. So 3 years, yeah.
Wait, so what does residency do?
If you want to be a specialist or if you just want additional training, those are the kind of things that you would do for. It's not required. Yeah. You can go straight to work and you can just get your license. But it's a way to make extra income or to get really good at a particular thing.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Like orthodontist or
yeah, exactly.
Like
oral surgeon. You only focus on that area of dentistry. Yeah. And I was like, no. I need to write. I need to be me. And
okay. Yeah. Because it's like it was too much dentistry.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like the specialty that I chose, it was called prosthodontics. And the thing about prosthodontics is you're basically like a super dentist. So you do like full mouth, like totally like failure cases that general dentists don't want to mess with, either because the personalities are really crazy or the mouths are really crazy.
Like the personality of the patient.
Yeah. So the actual training is you do all the lab work yourself. You would do like crowns, you would build the dentures, you would learn how to like make temporaries. You just wax up the teeth. Like, so you would be everything. As a dentist, you normally have a lab that you can send all your work for. But as a prosthodontic resident, not only are you doing all this stuff times like 3, but you also have to do research. You also have to go to classes. And I think the mistake that I made was that I didn't go into work right away. I should have done that because that's how I learned better. But I just went into residency and then I didn't know like the workflow. I didn't know how to balance my time. I didn't know any of that. And so I floundered like in residency. But as I started working, all this stuff that I learned in it, it ended up being super helpful because I can just work by myself without coverage. And it turns out like I much more prefer that. I'm happier because of it.
Because you're just taking action. You're just doing things.
Yeah.
More than like, in this scenario, this is what you should do and blah, blah.
Yeah. Like I struggled super hard. Like I was starting to get like panic attacks and I was starting to really get down on myself. I didn't want to kill myself, but I was starting to be like, I just don't want to exist like those kind of thoughts.
Like I want to just kind of sleep forever.
Yeah.
Which is funny because everything we're saying just sounds like dying, but it's a difference between like the execution of it and just like kind of, it'd be great if I just kind of don't wake up.
Or I'll be in traffic and I was like, I hope this lasts like forever.
Yeah.
Like kind of feeling.
Okay.
But it was because I didn't know like how to organize my time. I didn't know how to prioritize correctly. But once you start working, the incentive financially, the incentive to like, because it's just you and the patient, the hunger or like just the way that you just, the desperateness, the desperation of the situation, it causes you to start thinking outside the box. It starts causing you to like really take risky moves, not like so risky that you would kill the patient, but just enough just enough risk where you try something new and then it turns out like it was okay. And like,
do these patients know that there's something new being tried on?
you gotta play cool, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, no, don't worry. We've done this many times. And you're not lying because you've seen people do it and like you've shadowed or.
Because you're saying we've done it plenty of times, meaning like me watching someone do it. And, so you're not lying.
No, like, and you've done it with like coverage before.
I see.
So you don't ever want to do something super new. You might, especially if it's an extraction.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be like killing the patient. But that's where, again, I was super burnt out by the time I left residency. But residency ended up being really good because it trained me to think critically. And it taught me not to panic, like when things kind of go south. And then you're
on the spot.
Yeah, because again, it's just dentistry. So there are solutions. But that's kind of like, that's how it's been the last 3 years.
Okay. So my front teeth are very chipped.
They look flat.
They look flat, right?
Yeah.
From like grinding, and then like I don't know, they're like chipped. Like I ate I think like sundubu too fast, and then the metal hit my tooth and it chipped it again because it's like weak.
Damn.
It's like weak because I don't know if it's from the drugs in the past or what, but like I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I might need to get. I don't know how to
like veneers or crowns or something.
Yeah. But also I grind my teeth, so I have a mouth guard. So then it's like, do I have to get a new mouth guard and then have to get the thing?
You would want to, especially the mouth guard is basically like a $100 or $200 investment to make sure that the things that you spend like thousands of dollars on.
Yeah, like this new camera, this fucking camera that I spent stupid amount on. The first episode with this. Anyway,
the amount of money that you spent on that, if you spend it on your mouth, you're gonna want to keep it safe, So I always tell my patients, get a new mouth guard if you're gonna get like crowns or things like that.
Yeah, because I have that right now.
Did you get it from the dentist or did you get it from
the dentist?
Oh, that's
like
cool.
An actual one. Because before I got a soft one from that shitty dentist I told you earlier that didn't give a fuck about if he was hurting me when he was cleaning my teeth. Where he was like taking out all his past pain and breakups and divorce on my mouth. And it hurt. I was so scared every time I went to a cleaning. And I went to this new Korean dentist and he'd always be like, "Are you okay? Are you fine? It's going to be a little sensitive here."
Yeah.
And I've never had any dentist talk to me. Like the first dentist, I remember when I got a cavity in like kindergarten. I was scared because I'm in kindergarten. And I went, and he said, "Shut up." He said that, dude.
That's just like the stress of immigrating to this country and trying to like make it and to like pay off all the loans that he has.
I mean, he looked like a villain too, though.
Yeah,
because he was older. He had like the acne scars and then the Vegeta fucking hairline slicked back like an Italian mobster, except he was Korean. And dude, this guy was like,
did he use gloves though? At least
he did, but he was so fucking. He like shut up to me, and then when my mom came out, he was like, "Oh, I didn't say hey," all like nice, and I was like, "Yo, Koreans are fucking evil fucks sometimes." Yeah,
I mean that could just be a dentist thing because some dentists hate kids. They just hate seeing.
I was pretty good though, but he probably took out all the kid hatred on the.
Yeah, he probably just saw you and all the past, like you said, all the past trauma, all those things that he never expressed in his life that he should have.
Yeah,
he just took it out on you.
Yeah. So you're saying it looks flat, right? Because it is. So like, what? It's like you see it's chipped.
Oh yeah. It is a little flatter.
Yeah, and like chip and stuff. Dude, you became a dentist immediately. Like you were like that was such a dentist thing. Like your facial expression changed.
Well, you know what? It's because your bottom teeth probably too. Like. Yeah, it's all interacting with you.
But also, they're not touching anything.
I'm not trying to say you have fucked up teeth. I'm just saying.
No, dude. Trust me. I know they're not perfect. I know they're like not the best. Like cosmetically, at least, it's like it could be better.
You know what the problem is too? There's no research project that's ever been done on this because it's too hot to handle. But Koreans are generally seen by like dentists as like. Because, I don't know, all the stress that we've had from the Korean War or whatever, we grind a lot.
Dude, right? All my Korean friends grinded. Nobody's ever said that to me before, but I do. My homegirl grinds her teeth.
Yeah.
Dude, most of my Korean friends do grind their teeth.
Yeah, I grind my teeth too.
Do you have a mouth guard also?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think I cracked it because I grind my teeth so hard.
My dentist is like that too. He said he's Korean. He says his gets cracked.
Again, there's no science to truly back up what I'm saying, but... just by experience, most dentists will be like, "Oh yeah, if I have a Korean patient, they got bulldog jaws."
Damn, that's crazy. And you do have a bulldog jaw. You got a strong jaw, dude.
Yeah, I do, bro.
Maybe that's why Koreans, we have like bigger fucking faces and shit.
I think that's why we're so wide.
Yeah.
Our heads are huge. I don't know why, like, genetically that happened, but our heads are freaking huge.
It's so. That's why the fuckers that make it in like K-pop or acting is the ones with a small head. Then that's a compliment in Korean culture. Oh my god, like your face is so small. Wow.
I think people do like dangerous plastic surgery. Like they just shave down their jaws like crazy. They just get that narrow face.
Dog, dude, in college, in my communication studies class, there was this girl that, like before summer, she had a long chin, right? Like let's say it was an inch longer than mine, right?
Yeah.
Then after summer, it was like
they shaved
2.5 inches shaved off, and I didn't recognize her at first. I was like, "Who is this person?" And it was her. Completely different person. She shaved it all off, and she acted like she didn't know me but I knew it was her.
Oh man, her personality changed because of that.
Well, I mean, maybe she was a little shy about it because people are gonna find out that I shaved my whole fucking
That's
chin
true.
off.
It is traumatic to have your face.
But like, and I'm gonna be honest, man, she looked really hot after that. Because every time she talked, it was like this really sharp chin, and you know, in wrestling, you dig it into the back, and I was like, I like she could. It's like it was like a lethal weapon. Her chin before it was so pointy, and then afterwards it became like a soft. And she was Latina, but then she looked like a little Filipino girl after.
So I'm happy for her. I'm happy for her as well.
So it did improve her look, but at the same time, it's like, Dan, your kids are gonna be like, "Mommy, why do I have such a long chin and none of you do? You and Daddy."
The husband's probably like, "What the hell? Like, this isn't who I married." Like,
yeah,
where is this coming from?
Like, what's wrong with our fucking kids' chins? Did you cheat on me? Like, what the hell is going on here?
Did you hear about that? There was like the
Chinese.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I think it was debunked as not true.
Oh, really?
I think.
I lived my whole 20s believing that story.
Yeah, but it's not wrong because there is going to be stuff like that. So
yeah, dentistry is super. Most of it is just mental. Like most of it's mental.
House. Oh, because you have to stare and like.
No, not on my end. For the patient's end.
Yeah, like you want to.
Yeah, it's. I think it's weird. My dad is an aesthetic dental technician, which is like the people who make the veneers and the crowns, and the cases that he sees with the doctors when they see patients and he like comes over to like do like these assessments, people start crying and they just unload like lifelong trauma on you related to their teeth and I think that's where like you have to find a happiness that you're doing something meaningful for someone.
Wow.
Yeah, because if you're doing this for money, there's way better ways to make money than a dentist. Like your body is like my back hurts all the time.
Oh yeah, because you guys are like tattoo artists.
You're just scrunched over.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just scrunched over. Like people generally when they come to you, you always hear like I hate the dentist or like, I'm so scared of the dentist. And that's like your day to day. That's like you hear that constantly. But it's because you can't take it personally because it's tied to the fact that someone like truly effed up their teeth the way that your original dentist did.
Yeah.
And like people make fun of your teeth like crazy.
How'd you know they make fun of my teeth?
I didn't know. I sensed.
No. No, but like
people
make fun of teeth.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like when it starts graying, it's like, oh my god, you have a dead tooth in your mouth. It's like,
what's wrong with that tooth, man? Why did it go from like white power to fucking almost BLM? What's going on with that tooth right there, dog? Shit.
Dude, and people like just start crying in the chair, like especially if they feel like if they've heard like nothing can be done and stuff. Jeez. So it's truly like an emotional and mental thing. And if you like see it from that way, like, oh, like I'm not treating the mouth, I'm treating like their hearts or whatever. Like it's super hacky and whatever. But that's part of the way that it got flipped for me this past year, where I went from I didn't want to be a dentist in like 5 years to, oh man, this is actually really meaningful. Mm-hmm. And this is like super, I'm glad I'm a dentist now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perspective switch, huh?
Oh yeah. Like most people come out of school, they're like, why did I do this?
Yeah.
But I think that's where like the things you're describing with that chin getting shaved off.
Yeah.
She her life upgraded, not just physically, but probably like spiritually.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest, man. She went from like a 7 to a fucking like a 9 after that. I was like, whoa. Like, I was like, who are you? Shit.
Yeah, bro. That's the kind of thing that you like have to work with. Cause I mean, But the patient has to have the self-awareness that that's also like they have to have like the inkling, like, oh, this isn't just a physical thing. This is also like a mental thing. Mm-hmm. And so you gotta find like the patients you vibe with, because some dentists just become technicians. They just like do a filling. They don't even care. It's like a factory, you know?
Just purely transactional. Let me get the money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You're not a human to me.
Yeah. And that's where it gets kind of hard, because I understand. I think most of us will understand, because you're living in the red because of all the debt that you've accumulated, unless you come from a super wealthy family. But so the temptation is there to treat people like just it's like a meat market. You're just like, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I can do.
Like a chicken factory.
Yeah, it's just like, I need this.
Just get over it. Eat this. Get fat. You can't walk anymore.
Dude,
steroids.
Dude, it's scary because people don't know. But that's where like patient education and just understanding that, like most people are scared coming in. That's kind of like the main job of a dentist, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the main job is to get rid of cavities, but to make it meaningful, you have to remember like, oh, like this is a person and I need to like help this person.
That's true, because the quality of life really does get affected by mouth health and like the aesthetics of a smile, because like I started getting self-conscious. Like I've lost I reclaimed it back, but I was in like not a good place for the last like 2 months or so. Oh, and like okay. I wouldn't smile as much, and I started getting overly self-conscious about my teeth, and I wouldn't want to show it. Yeah.
Now I'm just staring at your eyes.
I know.
I don't want you to feel that from me.
No. But it's not like anybody said anything. Well, this one girl said, you'd be so much hotter if like you fixed your teeth, and I was like,
shit.
I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I mean, you're not bad, but like you're really cute, but if your teeth were a little better, like you'd be so hot. And to me, that was almost a backhanded compliment, but at the same time, like I get it, because I didn't want to get braces when I was a kid, because I thought it'd make me look like a nerd. But if I got the braces, the bite would have been fixed, so I wouldn't have, it wouldn't have been the way it is. But also, you kind of have to just, you want to blame your parents, like you should have forced me. But then I was the one fighting against them, and you have to just kind of accept that it is what it is, and then learn to embrace that, and then just. Like later, I'll get it. I mean, I don't really know what to do, but I was like, you know what? Maybe in like, if my tooth really gets like snapped or something, or maybe in like, I don't know, when I'm like 40 or some shit.
Dude, by that time, I'll have my own office, so just come on over, bro.
Dude, I'll go to you, man. I bet y'all fix this shit.
I'll get you the comedian discount at my office.
Yeah, right. Then afterwards, dude, I'm going to get so much pussy. Because teeth matter. Teeth really do a lot. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, man. It's, yeah, you're all right. I could see why people would tell the whole story after, because whenever somebody says something about, oh, your tooth looks like kind of chipped, like, which doesn't happen often, even if they notice it, or most people say, a lot of people say, oh, I didn't even notice, and they mean it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, and then they don't ask me what happened. I go into this whole spiel about, well, it started in 6th grade where I just, I see
there's a story.
Yeah, but so I get what you're talking about, why everybody would say that, because that's how much this is like, everything almost. It's a lot.
Yeah. My dad would say that, like every like mouth has a story, like especially if they're coming in for aesthetic work.
Wow. And mouth has a story.
And I was just like, you don't get it. You're an immigrant. What do you know? Yeah. But now that I'm working, and I'm not even working at I'm working at good practices. I was pretty picky, but I wouldn't say they're now if they hear this, they're gonna be like, this is how I feel. But this is like upper middle class patients. Like when they come in, like there are certain patients you can just tell there's like a life, there's like a life behind like what they want to share with you. Yeah, does that make sense? Like they have stories about their teeth, and you start unraveling it.
If they're middle high class,
not just then, like. No.
People generally.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, as I'm working, I'm like seeing that. I thought it was just like rich people who wanted to get their teeth fixed, like to look like a Hollywood smile or something. Oh, but dude, poor people, rich people, middle class people, like every background, it's universal, man. Like there's some sort of story.
Yeah, and you get judged for that. Like, look at this. I really believe if you're homeless and you're missing teeth and they're decayed, you're like 90% less likely to get money from somebody. But if you have really nice teeth,
I didn't know
you look
that.
more friendly. Because if you don't have teeth, I mean, even me, I would look like a homeless person. Like, do you have any change? And they have like kind eyes, and I'm like, maybe he's on his, maybe he's not doing well. But then I see his mouth, and I'm like, you drug addict, Like I judge them.
That's
but
true.
a lot of times it's just maybe just didn't know how to take care of their teeth and shit too. So like people get judged based off their teeth. They have a tooth missing. It's like, God, you're fucking like you're an
That's
idiot.
true. I've worked with teeth for so long. I know it's not true, but I still naturally am like, oh man, you're a little dumber.
Right.
with
and then when they laugh, dude, I remember one of my friends, he bit on a chicken bone, and he like lost this one tooth on the side of the fang, and then whenever he laughed, he looks so friendlier and dumber. So it made me laugh every time because like it is this hole in his mouth.
Would you hyper focus on it? Because I think like now, because I see it so often, I just
if there's a missing tooth. Yeah, I mean, until you get used to it. But then it really makes people look more friendly because it's like, oh, you're not as perfect. But
that's interesting. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
I think I would prefer that over like having like just glaring white teeth. I think people just want super white teeth.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the one part that's like a PSA. Don't get super white teeth.
The porcelain fake look.
Yeah.
I don't like that, dude.
No one likes it deep down. Everyone like has an opinion about it, but people still get it, man, because they think that's like when rappers wear like their chains and they're like, "Oh, I'm rich, look at me," but actually they're still like
poor. Like they're renting it. They're renting it out. Like
yeah.
you want to look for what's wrong with them
in the
because
dental
it's not
world.
a natural.
That's kind of like that version of that.
Yeah.
Because it like communicates like you don't know what like real like what's actually beautiful, which is a natural smile.
Yeah. Natural smile. What do you mean natural smile?
A natural smile meaning like it looks like how you would envision teeth, but it doesn't bounce out at you. Like that. I think that's what's hard about dental aesthetics or dental art. Because if they do a good job, you shouldn't even notice. Like you're trying to not get noticed for your teeth.
Yeah. If you can't notice anything, then that's good.
Yeah. The only notice you want to get is like someone saying like, "Oh my God, you used to have like really messed up teeth."
Oh, that'd be great, dude.
And now it looks great. Like, where'd you get that?
It's like now I want to fuck you. I didn't before, but your teeth.
Yeah. It's like that. Yeah.
So me having like flat teeth, is this a super bad thing?
No, man.
It's just more aesthetics, right? A cosmetic.
I think it's more like you feeling your teeth better than.
Oh yeah. It's like you staring at a fucking acne scar that's like half a centimeter that nobody sees but you.
Yeah. You said, 95% of people aren't going to notice it.
Yeah.
The only people who are going to notice are people you're trying to sleep with and dentists.
Yeah, right.
Those are only two populations they're going to notice, bro.
Yeah, but the first part, the former matters more than anything. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But the funny thing about that is, though, it never stopped me until I got when I would get in my head, and then I would suppress the smile and I would lose my confidence because I get in my own head. And it's like a woman or people are less likely to care if you're just smiling your shit off and not giving a fuck. Because that's the confidence, that's the charm, that's the fun, that's the personality.
Communicates like, oh, like I know my worth.
Exactly. So what is it? It's kind of like the whole, I'm not going to be happy until I get this thing or until I check this off. But no, you can right now and you have to accept it. I mean, that's why, me choosing to shave my head and stuff like that. It's like not my head's not like perfect, but some people like it, some people don't, but you just have to, I think this whole thing is, now that we're talking about teeth, it's just about really like fully embracing yourself.
Yeah, man.
And just being like loving yourself, even though like you think, it would be cool if I could, improve this a bit, that, sure. But at the same time, be like, you know what, fuck it, it's me. Like,
yeah. I think that's a good point because, again, like it goes back to like how did I find meaning in like what I do? Because
true.
Yeah, I think most people smile like very like toothless smiles. Even when I ask them to open their mouths or like smile for me, because I'm trying to.
Even if they have good teeth.
Even if they have good, it depends on. It depends.
I see.
It's really dependent upon how the patient feels about their teeth. Some people have horrible teeth and they're just keeping it rolling.
But what about are there people with good teeth that hold back, like decent teeth?
Very rarely,
right? Because they want to show it off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still like a mental thing because there are people with, again, like that Hollywood, like when you open your mouth,
That
it's like
shine.
it's like a shine. Yeah, they'll still smile because they think they did such a great job, and it's a reflection of like how much money they put in. And then
Placebo effect.
yeah, it's really like the mentality, the patient going into the dental office.
Wow, that's so true. Because so even if they quote unquote improved it, and it's this fake white shine, and it's fake, and it's like they got this like fake ass bridge with the fake teeth.
But if the dentist was like, "Oh my god, this is the best work I've ever done," like this is, well, you've got to put this on Instagram, like you got to show this off. And
Wow.
when someone tells you that, I find that patients generally believe their dentists, so they're going to want to be like, "Oh my god, I invested so much money into it. I'm going to show this off to the world," and then the rest of the world is like, "I can't see." Like when
No, that's so true. But that, dude, that makes me think about positive reinforcement from your parent.
Oh yeah,
Like if they kept saying,
That's true.
"You the shit." Like I'll tell you this: my grandmas and my aunts. Every year, as I was a kid growing up, every year I would see them. Every time I saw them, they would say, "Oh, you're so smart. You're so good looking." You know, that's what Koreans do. They go, "Oh, you're so good looking. You're so smart. Oh, you got taller." And then I really firmly believe that's why I got horrible grades and I stayed a virgin until 21. Because I'm like, well, if I'm that good looking, girls will come my way, and they didn't.
Oh, so it like made you complacent.
Yeah, it made me feel entitled. Like, oh, it is. And like, I'm like not studying and doing good, great. I'm not getting good grades, but then he's like, "Oh, you're so smart."
Dude, I totally relate
If
with
they hold
that.
up a fucking report card with like all season and a D, "You're so smart." I'm like, fuck, I guess I am. I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. So it's kind of like like you have a puppy and then you give it a dog treat every time it bites somebody.
It's you're like, the teachers don't get what I'm trying to do here. I feel the same way, man, because I didn't try until dental school, but I just assumed I deserved everything because of the way I was raised. Right?
Oh, you're the eldest Korean male?
Yeah.
Dude, I am too. And you know, Doc, there's a thing that happens when you come from a Korean immigrant family and you're the eldest male.
You're like a golden child, bro.
They treat you like you're God, like you're Jesus reborn.
Dude, and you start believing it. You're like, yeah, no, I know I'm like 50 pounds overweight, but like she like is lucky if she gets some time with me.
Right?
Yeah, I was feeling that way into my late 20s. I was like, oh man, like why don't people get this? I'm a gift.
My family gets it. Why don't you get it? Right?
Yeah.
Damn. So maybe that's why a lot of Korean guys, they get fucking, that come from immigrant families that are the eldest male, they have entitlement, and then they just get, you know, angry and they get controlling if somebody doesn't want to listen at that. Because I had control issues before too, but it all stemmed from some, you know, inferiority, insecurity type deals, you know.
I think the bad part of like what we're talking about here, because I've been thinking about that too the last few years. I think it's because your problems get covered up a lot. Like your mistakes get covered up by like your parents like trying to protect you, and then you're being reinforced that you're like super special.
Yeah.
And you're this gift to mankind. And I think there's a lot of helicopter parenting that goes on, that it causes you to get upset when things don't go your way, and you get very inflexible in your thinking. Because I struggle with that too, and the way that I think you get out of it, I don't know how you feel about this. Dental school, I failed a lot. Like I never failed up until dental school because I didn't have to try and I got good grades. I was involved at church and I became a church leader, and I didn't have to put in that much work to be like friggin' like I was a leader.
You didn't have to eat shit
to
get into these certain roles, right?
And then dental school flipped that whole thing up for me because I started like not passing some of my tests, and I was like, I know I'm not stupid. What is this?
Yeah.
And it's because I was super undisciplined because I didn't need to study, so I never had to try. I was really like, I didn't know what it meant to like prioritize my like work. I didn't know what it meant to like say no to social events and things like that. And so for like 6 years, even like I just had to fight to like stay in and to get better as a dentist and to like actually not be a harm to patients. And like that took away that, oh, I deserve everything mentality.
Because you got humbled by the world.
Yeah. Humiliation is the best way to get humbled.
It is, dude. Like, that's why we need certain reality checks in life. And that's why the school system, I think, really fosters a whole, like, generations of just weak-minded people that, I cheated my whole way through college, dude. And then it's like a participation trophy almost.
Was it through like the Korean clubs and stuff? I know there's like organizations and stuff at colleges that like pass down tests. And stuff.
Dude, some of these teachers would leave the class knowing that we're gonna cheat because he's like, fuck it, I need you to pass. And then we would just be like, hey, what's the answer? And he's like, he would say, this one math teacher said, he was the pre-calculus teacher said, hey guys, I'm gonna be gone for 20 minutes.
Jesus.
Okay, 20 minutes exactly.
Where were these professors in my life?
Yeah.
What the?
And so I'll be back. 20 minutes. It's like he was telling us you have 20 minutes to cheat. And that's what he was kind of inferring, honestly. Because everybody sucked. Everybody didn't care. Nobody tried. And we all just cheated off. Like, there was like 2 smart people in there, and like 30 of us, 40 of us were just getting answers from them.
Just looking over.
We'd walk over to the table, like groups of us, like we're doing a group project, just like, wait, what's this? And we would write exactly what they wrote, and the scribbles and the fucking formula and like the crossing out stuff of the numbers. So like that did not prepare. That taught me entitlement and that things will come your way without having to work hard and eat shit and struggle, right?
Yeah, man, because you can. And again, I think that's I think I would agree with you because again, I didn't necessarily have to do all that, but I would like not commit to things. I would not commit to organization. I wouldn't commit to like any sort of activity, and I could still get to college. I still got into dental school without learning how to like be there for other people.
Oh.
Yeah. But I was told like I'm not that my parents told me that, but just like life circumstances like taught me I deserve this. And I do agree. Like, I think the school system kind of played into that a little bit. Like, up to college, dental school, again, was the great teacher in my life. What was it for you that, like, you got out of that mentality then? Or, like, are you still in that mentality? I don't know.
No, I got out of it. Well, one was, I mean, even certain jobs you get, you just do these mediocre tasks, and you're like, why am I getting paid to do this? I'm not even doing anything. And then you feel definite imposter syndrome, and it is imposter because they're paying you to be stupid, essentially. You're not really learning. You're not really doing anything. You're not really contributing. You know, you're like, hey, look up 3 fucking random funny posts we could post on the Facebook for the client. And it's like,
I see.
And you just feel like, what am I doing here? Even though you're getting money, it just doesn't feel good, and it's useless skills. Like, it's not even skills. Skill acquisition mixed with struggle and challenge is very satisfying.
Yeah.
You know, more so than just being like handed money.
Can you repeat that actually?
Like,
digest that.
Like, when you have to go through challenge to acquire skill, because skill is the only way in that like respective field to get further.
Yeah.
Unlike cheating in college, that is the most satisfying thing because you realize I can't do anything. I can't like tiptoe around this. I have to face this head on, and you face yourself. You face introspective, thinking, doubts, all these things. And that causes growth. And it's not like you're thinking about that while you're doing it and you feel stressed, you feel shitty. But then whenever you come out of it, even if it's for like you like figured out how to, I don't know, put on like a fucking crown on a tooth that you couldn't like perfectly for the first time after failing over and over, it's like a sigh of relief. So it's tension built and then tension relief. That's life. Even when you're fucking tension built because you're trying not to bust, and then finally, you made her bust first. Hopefully you made her bust first, and then you're like, okay, I can release relief, tension, right? Same with like UFC fighters, tension. I'm gonna fuck you up. You're gonna fuck me up. All right, like fuck you. You're my enemy. Bam, bam, bam. Go at it. Releasing as a fight. Whoever wins loses. You know the result. release.
That's so true. I mean, I found that more with like comedy, actually. Like the first month I was bombing like crazy, and it just built up. Like, why am I quit residency to do this?
Oh yeah.
And then that just failing and bombing, but the first time I got a laugh, I thought like I was about to pass out from
from joy or
like joy and relief and just like, oh my God, like, oh God, thank God. Like I was able to get, it was like nothing I had experienced up to that point.
Wow.
Yeah. Nothing like, no like church thing, no dental thing, no other accomplishment like felt as good as me like getting a laugh from all these jaded comics. Yeah. And that was when I was, I don't know. I think that idea of being disciplined, even when you don't want to going and like doing it over and over and over like that, like really sad that it cemented it in like my late 20s. But that was like the first moment I was like, oh, I need to work. I want to work at this, even if it doesn't.
So dentistry didn't do that for you 100%. I mean, it kind of was like a foot into that realm of.
It did, but I didn't feel joy the way that I felt it with stand up.
Now, would we say like joy with accomplishment?
I felt more relief.
Satisfaction? Oh, relief.
I felt like relief when I got my license because I was like, oh, thank God. Because I'd worked hard to get there.
Yeah.
And I realized like, oh, damn, like I'm not going to get by mere talent anymore. I'm not going to get by like what God-given ability.
God, you sound so fucking like, you sound like Trump around a God-given ability. No, but I know what you mean. No, that's Richard Nixon. Yeah, that fucking thing.
I just need to study history, I guess. That's what I need to do.
It's okay, man.
You
got to be more white, dude. Okay, so I know what you mean.
Yeah. Dentistry got me into that because I sat next to this another classmate of mine. Her name is Vina. She's an orthodontist now, and she taught me. She opened my mind to that because she was the most disciplined person I had ever seen in my life up till that point. Like just at least with schoolwork and getting all her projects done on time. And she's really intelligent, super creative. I would not say, this is not a shot. I didn't know that she was like a genius level intellect, but I think her life was just so admirable. And she was able to pass so well. She taught me how to do things. She covered my butt a lot, like during lab work and stuff. And all she did, her number one skill was discipline. Like she was just regimented. She had time for everything. She was in a beauty pageant for like Miss Saigon or something like that.
So she's beautiful and smart and disciplined.
Dude, and out of all those things, the discipline was like the number one, like her secret sauce. And so I saw that, and I looked at my life, and I was ordering like Domino's like at 2 a.m. every day. And I was like procrastinating on everything, and I was like, there's something wrong, but even with that, I became a more disciplined person, and I got my license. I got into a good residency program. I did not feel like intense happiness. I felt more relief. But when I started driving out to mics, paying $5 a mic to like really try to make someone laugh and to see if I can do this, and I would not hear anything. The tension, like you said, was building. And then when I finally got that laugh, and then the more experienced comics they'd stop me after that set, and they're like, keep going. That felt like joy. Like that was joy.
Yeah, because that type of tension and relief is like also mixed in with anticipation. Like high level anticipation for, am I ever going to get that laugh?
Yeah.
And dopamine gets released in anticipation, not when you get the thing, which is why, and it's not pseudoscience, it's some fucking thing that I learned from this fucking Andrew Huberman about that. So like, he's got a doctorate in some bullshit. I don't fucking know. But I forgot. But I'm like discrediting it.
I was about to say, you're like lifting them up and you just
I just give up on explaining people. I'm bad at like elevator pitches and shit. But like him. Anyways, so that's why people always get depressed when they get that thing, and then they say they work so hard. I'm gonna be happy when I get this one thing. Then they get the thing, and they're like,
okay,
it's not what I thought. And now what? Versus if you constantly have the next goal, then you're not gonna be sad because you have the next thing to look forward to, which is anticipation.
Yeah.
Anticipation. It's not the A to B to the C, the points. It's the A1, A2, A3, B, right?
That's
B1,
true.
B2, B. Yeah.
Like the process of getting there.
Yeah, so I understand why, Kobe and everybody was always said the journey. And I didn't understand it until this year. It took 4 years, but like, I don't know, man. I think the whole like dentistry thing too is that's like a mental. It takes a lot of mental fortitude to do shit like that too, because you're dealing with certain people, all types of personalities, and you're looking at you're looking at like a mouth, dude, like
all day, every day.
Well, how was that like? Because we hear, dude, the statistics say that a lot of dentists commit suicide, and is that coming from? Do you think it's coming from staring at a mouth, or from like the monotony, the back hurt, or I don't know, people complain, or was something? I don't know.
It's a good question, man. Well, first off, I don't know if that's like just I don't know if that's just a myth, or because most dentists that I know, they're okay. Like they're not like, but people at my level, there's a lot of people who are depressed or they don't like what they're doing. And I think it is, you're staring at a mouth and that mouth is telling you, I don't like you and don't hurt me. And so you feel like, you feel scared that you might hurt this patient.
Oh, shit.
You also feel kind of like, why are you saying, like, do I come to your job and tell you I hate your guts? Like, so there's...
Wait, do people say that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Wait, people say they hate you?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like every week.
Like a patient so every week a patient.
Every week there's a patient like, I don't take this personally, but I hate you. I hate dentists, and I don't like. It's never personalized, but they just come in with the attitude like you're out to get me or you're gonna hurt me.
Then they're paranoid.
Yeah,
so
they're
you're
paranoid.
immediately grouped into. Oh, it's like, hey, by the way, so I. Not to be racist, but I don't really fuck with Asians because this one Asian lady hit my car 5 years ago.
It's kind of
like that. You get grouped into this thing, and now they got this weird PTSD judgment thing.
Yeah, dude. Like the dentist you were describing from your childhood, he messed it up for you, man.
No, he messed it up for me for fucking like over
and
25 years. Yeah,
other kids too.
Yeah,
and so they come in already. You're already in the red, like in that relationship. You're already in the negative. So. That's why I was saying, like, it's the number one thing about dentistry is not necessarily the objective stuff. It's that mentality. You're already fighting against a mentality where they're against you.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing. So I think another thing is the constant aches that you feel. You're doing this for like 30 years, probably as a dentist, right? So your back is tight. People get surgeries for their necks. You have to spend money on that to get massages and chiropractors and acupuncture, or like to go to yoga class constantly, like things like that. Like the side costs goes up and you feel it in your body. And so you're trying to like win people over. You're constantly trying to win people over until like 10 years in, when you have an established patient base and you're also physically feeling the burden of what you're doing, so I think those combinations, if you don't find something meaningful to do with your life, or if you don't find meaning in the kind of dentistry that you do, you're in for a long time of grinding without much reward outside the financial part of it. There's a third thing that I think is actually pretty key is because patients don't know what's going on in their mouths. And I'm speaking as an associate. I'm not an owner yet. I'm planning on like building a practice really soon, or getting into the beginnings of that. But as an associate, you don't really get to pick where you work because it's so saturated in this market. I'm talking very specifically as like a Los Angeles centric dentist. But I would say that most people who come out of school, they went into school because they went to like a mission trip, or they went to, they like had a really meaningful moment with their dentist and they're like, I want to help people. But when you get out, the turnover rate for employment is so high. because you need to make money. And a lot of owners or a lot of people, especially if the owner is not a dentist and it's like a marketing person or like a business person, not a marketing person, why would they go into this? But like they just want you to make numbers. But this is also healthcare, which is supposed to be not about the numbers, and like trying to figure that out and then seeing like how many mistakes you make on a filling or on a crown or the guilt that comes with that. And then also the patient's not appreciating the work. Like if you worked really hard for 2 hours on a root canal, but it still fails, the patient doesn't care that you spent 2 hours of your life like trying to make it work. They care that it failed, right? And so you're doing like work that you aren't happy with for someone who doesn't care about the amount of time that you're working.
Oh, so
You
you feel very, it's like a thankless job at that point.
Yeah.
And you sacrifice even more of like your back, your neck's hurting. It's
Yeah,
like, what did
so
I do this for?
At the level that I'm at, I think a lot of us feel this way.
Oh.
And that's why a lot of people want to go into ownership because you want to have a practice where you don't have to deal with that part of it. You'll still probably make mistakes. You'll still probably like have stuff. Patients will always be patients, and like certain demographics or like certain this or that, like they'll always give you like specific kinds of pain or like headaches. But that aspect of like feeling you're part of a machine that doesn't care about you and that's pushing you to do like things that you don't believe in. That's why most of us want to become owners, you know?
Oh.
Or like at least have some say over your destiny.
Okay, so is it also because since you don't have your own practice with like regular patients, it's different because when you have your own independent practice, then you have people that know you and you develop a relationship, so it feels more like,
and it becomes meaningful then, right?
I see.
If you don't want that, then you become an oral surgeon or a root canal specialist.
Okay.
Like,
because you want them to be in pain, because root canals.
like they're already coming to you like, help me, and you're like, I can help you, and then you don't have to see them again. Unless like you get referred to the same patient. Yeah. So, I would say those are the challenges, and it's hard because you talk to the older dentists, and they'll say, yeah, you'll start enjoying it like 10 years in, or like 5 years in. It's like, damn, but what are you doing for like those 5-10 years? Like, how do you do it? And that's where, again, like, I'm so glad I have stand-up because I can unleash that stuff into the stand-up. And I feel like I'm not only making connections here, but I'm making connections there.
Yeah, you know what that right there. I just love watching, interviews with high level performing people, whether it's athletes or, in whatever industry they're in. It could be tech or it doesn't fucking matter, comedy. But what they always say is it gets fun when you start to get good at it.
Yeah.
So it's like stand-up for me. Now I'm not saying I'm the best, but I got a lot better, and I can hold my own for sure. Like but when I first started, and I was just like not able to make a good joke and just not confident, and it wasn't fun. Every day I'm like, why am I doing this? But then after a few years, and I started to get a level of proficiency on it.
Yeah.
And then I was it was like more conscious level of skill acquisition, like what I'm aiming for, because instead of just trying to not be scared anymore, because once you get past all that shit, then I'm more comfortable on stage. It became fun because I got to a certain level of skill.
Yeah, it becomes almost like intuition, right?
A little bit of intuition, but also you're consciously aware that like I've been in enough situations where this is not gonna fuck me. Like I can play around with this instead of you feel helpless to the audience or like the world in general, right? So like I mean, how much more fun is it for basketball when like you couldn't dunk and all of a sudden you can dunk, and then you're also you're trying to win and being able to do like cool little like jukey moves, whereas before you were just trying to learn how to dribble and you're just trying to learn how to do a layup.
That's true.
Right? So
Yeah.
I think maybe that's also why, and at the same time, you having to face yourself constantly of, why the fuck am I doing this? This sucks, and this and that. So you come to terms with so many like things over time on top of the skill acquisition, and then the meaning, finding the meaning over those years, which only comes with experience, probably.
That is really true. Again, like residency was not for me.
Yeah.
And that was like probably the biggest decision I made was to quit residency. That was like the first really adult decision I had to make because I had to think about it. I was losing a lot by quitting.
A lot of money?
Potential money.
Oh, potential money.
Yeah, potential money.
Yes.
Like I could charge a lot more as a specialist. I can probably get better jobs as a specialist, especially with that specialty where you're just basically an incredibly skilled dentist. And but during residency, I was so unhappy because I just saw my mistakes all the time. And I would like encounter patients that were just giving me a lot of shit. And but it trained me to like deal with it. And so when I finally got to work, I felt like I had upgraded, even though I hadn't done anything different except take a break, like a month-long break. I felt like my confidence in my fillings and my crowns and like surgeries like grew just because I was like, oh, this is like, I know this is, I know how to deal with this. And that is from the experience from the residency. So I'm like a year and a half ago, I probably would have been like, I never want to see these people from residency again because I was so burnt out. But now I'm like really thankful that I went through that because it fueled my, like it trained me to like deal with it. And from that, it became easier.
Wow.
And now I'm more enjoying it more as a dentist.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. See, this is why, like, man, like, and it's funny too. It's like these when you find meaning in something, it's like you have to continue to find meaning because it doesn't always last, right?
Yeah.
You have to keep. You're like in a relationship. Why do people get divorced and stuff? Because they start getting too used to it, and then they just don't find the meaning in it anymore. And then like that's when we feel like we just deserve. It's just supposed to happen, but it's like it's not. That's like fucking. That's how we're gonna die. And you know, just knowing that it's not a sad thing because if you know that's how it's supposed to be, then we just. It's like every day we have to work towards embracing the shit and then finding the meaning in it, and then you like learn, you like almost you get joy from it because you accept that it's a certain way,
right?
And a certain thing, which is like
you have to be like, okay, I'm this level of skill. I'm not like my ultimate goal is have my own practice and to become like financially independent, or like I want to have a 1 hour Netflix special or whatever. But in the meantime, like learning like to accept that I'm not there yet. I'm not good enough to have my own practice that's making this amount of money or have a special yet. But like being able to accept that and then like, oh, like, but I got better. I think it was what we were talking about earlier, right? Like I'm getting better at this. Yeah. It's getting faster. It's getting sharper. And that from that, it adds to like, oh, now people like can benefit from what I'm sharing, my skill sets and things like that.
Yeah, and instead of just okay, so is there do you struggle with comparison in the dentistry industry, like dentist world?
Not as much because I don't care as much.
Oh, you don't care as much. Oh, you don't put as much value on like end result of shit.
I don't care as much because it was never like that is definitely like something that was instilled in me from my parents.
Yeah. To
become a dentist and from church. So those things like you need to be helpful to society. You need to be in healthcare to help other people and make money. Those things were not birthed from like my own discoveries. That was from like authority figures and family. And that's not a bad thing, but that's like, I don't care as much when I see like dentists making it big, like because you can just have your own office and kill it. I struggle with that a lot with comedy though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right. There's a lesson there because I don't care about being a huge dentist because I could just make my own thing and then just be good with it. That's a thing that we have to learn for that as well too, because it's like, you gotta have a Netflix special, like, or you have to be like a fucking like with Joe Rogan and Dave Chappelle, and it's like there's a lot of people that are like way below that that are killing it, making a ton of money, that aren't like super famous, but nobody really knows about these things because it's not really out there.
Yeah, I
There's
didn't know that
information
until I
about
started.
that.
Yeah. I'm just starting to get to know that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still hard because there's a lot of comparison involved. But I don't know, man. This is, it's a thing I've been struggling with a lot lately too. But I've been finding the joy and then the gratitude in it again, and it just makes you better when you're just like, fuck it, dude. When you make yourself a slave to the result and how people view you, and how you think you want to be perceived, it fucking it saps your fucking joy and energy to do anything in life, man. Yeah,
dude. You know what was helpful too, to not compare? It's like finding out people are like dumber than you thought they were.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was so wrapped up in my own problems during dental school. I was like, I'm the dumbest dude here. And then when I went to residency, I started discovering like, my classmate did what? Or like this person did what? Like, and I found out like, oh my God, there's like a bunch of frauds out there. Like there's a bunch of like people just like conning their ways through like jobs and like through
cheating.
Yeah. Cause this is how like unstreet smart I was. Cause I had just gone to church and like I had just gone through like the school system. I was just like, oh my God, like everyone's doing it by the books. And like, how come I'm not figuring it out? And then it turns out like a lot of people aren't doing it by the books. And so when I see, again, like when I see certain like ads or like the way people like project themselves in the dental world, because I know it, like now this is my livelihood. When I see it, I have a lot of criticisms, or I have a lot of like, I don't know if that's true, like what they're saying. Like there's a lot of like BS, you know? And so because I saw the reality of that, it made me feel a lot better about like who I am, which I guess I should apply to comedy. But
yeah, I mean, it's just a thing that we just apply in general. But so if somebody wanted to be a dentist, what do?
You just got, it's super easy. You just got to like keep trying. Like you just got to go through, make sure you pass school. It doesn't matter when you pass school.
Like, are we talking college?
College, and then you just got to apply.
Do you have to have a lot of really good grades or what?
I don't know if you have to get a lot of really good grades. I think you do, but I mean, of course, you're going into a professional. There's two paths, right? Yeah. Like you can either be okay with your GPA or whatever, but kill it on the dental entrance exam. It's called the DAT. If you kill it there, then you're going to be fine for most part. Or you just have really good GPA, have like a decent DAT score. And like the intangibles are like, did you volunteer a lot? Did you go to a lot of like seminars or whatever? Like, what does your resume say? But the two most straightforward ways to get into dental school is you got to do pretty well on your grades. You got to do pretty well on the DAT. You don't absolutely have to kill it like on both, but the better you do on both, you would get in. Now in dental school, I would say the nice thing is once you get into dental school, they're really for you passing dental school, because it looks weird if like you accept all these people and then they kind of flame out. Certain schools are like that, like the bigger, like if they have a bigger class size, they don't care as much. But like for the more like prestigious, like you are part of like a small class, they want you to succeed. I think that was also kind of a lesson. I think some people come in like everyone's against me, like with a chip on their shoulder. But most people, if they're in education, they want to help you like succeed. And so you would go through school, like reasonably pass your grades or like make up the classes that you weren't able to pass or whatever. Then there's another exam that you have to get your license. It depends on the region you're in. Ours in California and like a lot of like the Western states is called the REB. This is like getting technical or whatever. But basically, they make it, you have, basically you need the money to be able to pay for these tests and to get licensed. Okay. This is also where I found out that a lot of this is kind of a scam. Yeah.
A scam because
you basically, if you have enough money and you try hard enough, like even if you have no business being a dentist, you can still make it.
So if you do decent enough grade wise.
Yeah. And then people are just trying to like, dude, I pay so much money for my insurances to like just practice and for my licenses too, right? Like over like almost like $2,000 to just like be a dentist,
like
exist as a dentist, not even work.
$2,000 how often?
Like every other year or whatever. It's still like, but
That's still a lot though.
Yeah, it's
a lot of
and then
money.
you have to like pay to go to classes after school. Like,
So that adds even more.
oh yeah, for sure. And then again, like what I mentioned earlier, like all the intangible things, like going to the doctor's office or a physical therapist, and like having to like drive. You know what I mean? Like just I like have to pay for all my own insurances. My companies don't.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm an independent contractor.
Okay.
Which is like another reason I need to own or whatever.
So that's almost like potentially a few grand a year.
Yeah, like at least a few hundred.
A few hundred. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you have a medical history, then your insurance goes up, obviously, and then like things like that. So like little things can like cause your thing to go way up.
Wow.
If I want to prescribe medication, I have to pay for that license too.
Dude, talking to you just gave me so much more empathy for dentists and my dentist. Not that I didn't have empathy, but I would just kind of get in and get out. Even though like I do like him. He's the first dentist I actually like because he was actually nice to me. But now I'm like, yo, what's up, Dr. Mark?
There's a lot of
good. How are you? Like,
there's a lot of investment that person's put in to like be a dentist.
That he struggles with. That and he has a family and kids too. And, and he's a little, he's not like an old guy, but he just had a kid that's not even a year yet. I don't want to get.
I don't even know how they do that.
Yeah, right. So going through that and figuring those things out while still trying to maintain the practice and the sanity, probably, right?
The flip side of that too is you make bonkers amount of money if you can.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah.
If you market yourself well and like you also like do well for yourself, you're upper middle class probably. You could be like you could be wealthy potentially. There are people who own like hundreds of offices, and I would never want to be that kind of like that doesn't seem like a good life to me because of all the headaches that come with that or the kind of like philosophy you have to have with that. But yeah, it's expensive to not just. I don't think it's just for dentists, but just to be a healthcare provider, there's a lot of like things that you have to pay for that you didn't know you had to pay for.
Hey, I got a question.
Okay.
If somebody has bad breath, can you smell it through the mask as a dentist?
Of course, bro.
Really?
Dude, yeah. And you just gotta like pretend like you don't smell it, And they're like, oh my God, I have bad breath. And you're like, yeah, it's okay. But inside you're like, you do.
Do you breathe out of your mouth so you don't smell through your nose? Because this is what I think all the time. Like, if you're a dentist,
but your taste is you'll smell it no matter what, because your taste and smell, like the nerves, like they're connected, kind of. So
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
so you can't escape it, bro. So sometimes you'll double mask to like make sure you can't.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that help?
Not really.
Not really. So you just deal with. So that's like just if your dog pooped in your bedroom, you just I'm gonna deal with this for like 30 minutes.
Oh, you gotta. I mean, that's professionalism.
Wow. No wonder some dentists be kind of like annoyed sometimes, or like, fuck, dog, I gotta spend another fucking 9 hours smelling bad breath.
I mean, that's probably another reason why dentists want to kill themselves.
Shit. Yeah, dude. Because sometimes when I'm on a date and I kiss a girl and she got halitosis, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? And that could end after like 30 seconds if I'm like, yo, this is too much, this is too long, or 20 seconds.
I mean, you get acclimated to it. You get used to it. It's like when someone like lets out a wet fart and it gets really smelly. But yeah, but every once in a while, even with that, you get like a whiff of it, and you're like, oh God.
Is there like a certain age range where do you notice more of a specific age of people that have like stinky ass breath?
I mean, old people for sure.
Old people?
Older men, for some reason, they just don't care about like generally, not all old men. There are men who care, but older men, they just it feels like they just don't care like what you have to say. You have to like fight to like convince them to even floss.
Because also they're older and you're younger, and they're like, you don't know shit.
Yeah, they're like,
it's like, why did you come here then? Why did you go to the dentist? Did you come here to the dentist just to tell me that I'm wrong?
Yeah, that thought goes through my brain all the time. Like when it's like not all the time, but like there are patients that come in who like they just want to pick a fight with you. And it's like, I'm trying to save your mouth. Like, why are you?
I'm not your enemy, dude.
Yeah.
Your halitosis is the enemy, man.
Older men, man. That's generally like across races. It just seems like they have it in their mouths or something.
Huh. And then at what point in age do you usually see people's teeth really start to like kind of deteriorate?
I think That's a good question.
On average, where it's really like, oh man,
I would say the 40s.
the 40s is when it
Because
happens.
that's when things start. You gotta look at your mouth like you're putting investments into it. It's a good investment or a bad investment. A good investment is not going to show off right away. Same with a bad investment. So like all the grinding you do, all the pistachios or peanuts that you've eaten, all the times that you forgot to floss or like brush your teeth, like that, you won't see that the next day. But once you hit your 40s,
Wait a minute.
it starts building up.
Wait. Peanuts and pistachios. What about them?
They're nuts, bro. They're like harder. So like when you chew on them, like they're higher risk of like cracking your teeth.
Even peanuts? I thought they were like the softer nut.
I mean, they are softer.
Almonds
but
are hard, right?
I mean, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, the almonds are gonna.
Should I not be eating nuts?
I would reduce the amount.
Really?
Like, I wouldn't eat it all the time. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say you gotta deny yourself a nut, but
Wait a minute. Wait. So like, what are? Okay, how bad is sugar?
I
teeth.
mean, yeah, they're. So okay, so what happens with sugar is or carbs. Let's just say carbs because. So what happens with like breads and pastas and
Rice.
like sticky, rice, things like that, when they're more fermentable, like by bacteria.
Oh.
So it's not necessarily. Those aren't natural, like the ways that we eat, like that sort of food group. Vegetables are natural, like fruits are natural, and fruits have a lot of sugar too. But like those things from nature, like meats and stuff like that, at least are from nature, right? Whereas like breads and rice and pastas, like a lot of them you had to like manufacture and like I am not a food expert, but those things are more easily fermentable, generally by bacteria in your mouth, and so that leaves acid on your teeth, which is what like demineralizes your teeth. And like causes your teeth to kind of start rotting. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, bro. I know. The whole world's against your teeth.
That's why when my mom would be like, "Oh, don't eat. Be careful about the nuts. Like eating too much nuts."
Yeah, that can crack. Like, I mean, corn nuts. I mean, those aren't real
Dude,
nuts.
I can't eat corn nuts anymore. They like bother my teeth. I feel how hard they are.
Yeah.
I'm only 33, dog.
Bro, yeah, you're on your way, bro. If you don't start.
I stopped eating them.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I still love corn nuts, though.
Dude, they taste so good, but they like when I was kind of like.
I understand, man.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
But that makes sense, right? With the sugars?
Yeah. And that's the fermentation is
Basically,
'cause it's
when
in
you
a dark
floss, you're
place.
trying to get rid of stuff that can rot in your mouth.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like when you're making like fucking prison wine, like Pruno and shit. With the fruit, you put in a dark ass place and you just let it just ferment.
Yeah.
Like the bag that you use, the trash bag, is the teeth inside of the teeth, between the teeth.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. Like around the gums too, because it sticks there better. Like any crevice that you have in your teeth, that's a place to
So
hide your
me
prison
enjoying
wine.
sticky rice is more of a danger to my teeth as Koreans.
Yeah. That's like
Fuck.
Yeah, dude. It's
I'm dying.
rice is the enemy, man. Rice, things like that are the enemy.
Fuck.
Yeah.
This is my favorite.
Me too. I can't stop eating it. I can't stop eating it. So.
Well, what about people that replaced all their teeth?
Yeah, your life is. I feel sorry for your life.
Really?
I feel bad. Yeah, you've just increased the discomfort in your life.
It's how?
It's never a
discomfort?
good idea to get all your teeth out. I'm like describing this poorly. Okay, so your teeth.
Yeah.
This is the basis. Okay, when your teeth is in your body, the way God designed the body, your bone is there to support it, right? So it's not just about your teeth; it's the underlying bone. All right. So when you pull a tooth, the body is designed to be like, all right, let's get rid of all this. Let's clear it out. So it redistributes the minerals and like the stuff that was there to other parts of the body. So it starts to shrink. So
The bone in the gum area?
yeah, when there's no tension from the tooth and some dentists might be like, he's describing the science wrong. But essentially just think if there's no tooth there, the bone starts to shrink. And when there's no bone, there's nothing to build upon.
So then, is that when the jaw like gets sucked in and small and like
Yeah, like denture mouths, like those, like
where it's like
yeah, when it's like really shrunk
so
here.
that's why, because there's no more bone to shape the mouth and the jaw.
Yeah, there's no tension. There's no tension to like add to the teeth or the bone.
What if you put an implant? Would that
the implant keeps it there?
Keeps the bone there because it tricks the human body to think that there's
it's like the titanium is integrated into the bone and it like receives tension. But the thing is now it's not natural, right? Like you're putting metal in your mouth. There's like some ceramic implants, but same thing. It's unnatural. So the more you overload the mouth or that tooth, it's the weak link in the fence, and it starts to like kill the bone around it too. So if you have nothing there, it dies. If you overload the bone there, it dies, which is why like you see recession when you grind your teeth too.
But then what happens if you have to get rid of your teeth because you're just at a certain age and you have bad genetics and like you're like 50 and you're like, yo, my teeth is fucked. What do you do? What do these people do then? They just get a denture, but then the jaw bone will over time.
Yeah. So I just want to also preface everything I'm saying by saying I don't know all the science there. Dentists disagree with each other like crazy.
I bet they do.
We love slamming on each other. So there might be someone who disagrees with what I'm saying, and they might have like well-researched reasons. I'm just saying from my experience, it's hard because each mouth is unique. It's different levels of acidity, different levels of tension that you add. So I can't point blank say.
Like a vagina. That's the first thought I had. Different levels of acidity.
Yeah. I hope you're not playing with different levels with the vaginas that you've met, but there's smells.
So and taste. So then
I would say if you were my brother, I always say this to my patients. If you're my brother or my sister, I would recommend. First thought is how can I get an implant there if there's missing bone, okay? Because an implant, no matter what, I'm not saying no matter what as in like all conditions are good for implants. I'm saying no matter what, like if you're able to get an implant in there, it'll be helpful it'll be helpful to like, even let's say dentures, if you can stick your denture onto implants that are like, that are designed to like help with the denture, it will be so much easier for the person to eat or like so much more satisfying to the patient mentally. But if the bone conditions aren't right, or if the patient is diabetic or like super sick, like or like has radiation because of cancer or whatever, then you got to start looking at, okay, can we root canal this tooth, or can we put a bridge, which is like connected crowns onto that site to fill in those
That's
teeth.
the one I see that. So the bridge is where they have like a little metal, like a nail thingy on like 4 points or something like that.
The bridge is basically you cut the two teeth next to the empty space, and then you place like these crowns onto those teeth, and in the missing space there's another crown that like connects those. So it's like a bridge. Your teeth are the legs of the bridge, and then the pathway becomes the crowns that you place on it.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I would just Google. If I made no sense, just Google what a bridge is, and you'll see very clearly. The goal is always save the tooth if you can. But the bigger goal behind that is how can I have an ideal bite that looks like regular teeth? Like that's the philosophy that I mean, most dentists have that philosophy.
So should I just get braces if my teeth isn't?
Oh, that's a great question. Like, ortho is so helpful because you want ideal positioning of your teeth.
Okay.
Before you start putting crowns on and veneers, if your teeth are rotated or crowded or like they're like you know all over the place, the first question I would ask is how can I orthodontically position these teeth?
Wow.
Yeah. And if they're not willing to go through, but that takes time.
Yeah.
Then you start going, how can I fix this with crowns or bridges or implants?
Okay, because I kept thinking this whole time where, I mean, my dentist was saying like, I mean, you could do braces, this and that, and this and that. But then my brain was like, well, you know what? I'll just let my teeth get kind of a little fucked up over time. Just to think.
No, bro, because it's harder the older you get to get ideal.
So I should try to get braces if my bite's not good right now?
Yeah, why not? Whenever I see a patient who's a pediatric, like a kid, if I see a kid and they start getting like their permanent teeth or their mixed teeth or whatever, especially if I know that their mouth's about to get messed up, I just send them to the orthodontist, even if they can't do anything yet. I would just refer. Because
so all my dentists never gave a fuck about me. Only one dentist was like, you gotta do it. But then like high school, nobody did.
I mean, yeah, because it takes time. And everyone's fault. Most dentists have like every dentist has a different philosophy. Some people love doing ortho first. Some people love just going right away and just efficiently cutting your teeth and then placing. But I would say it's agreed upon that theoretically and just like foundationally, you should get the right position first and then start thinking about what crown should I put here? What veneers should I put there? Yeah, I'm sorry that your dentist didn't care.
And I'm in my 30s now. I'm like, shit.
Damn.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about this all wrong the whole time. Because I was like, yeah, because, like Joe Coy, he got a bunch of fake teeth and shit too.
No, dude, nothing's forever. Like your crowns, if they last you, like some crowns last forever if they're really well if they're well planned and if the patient is like super compliant with everything, your crowns will last you a very long time. But nothing is forever, bro. It start to stain. Like your mouth is a running machine. Like you're always using it. So it's like you're just like hitting something like over and over and over, and eventually it's gonna crack. So you have to have the mentality that's why I recommend night guards. Right, you always should get.
I am doing that though. At least.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah, I always recommend night guards because why not? Like you're paying $500 now or like $400 now, but you're saving yourself like decades of time.
Wow.
So that's like, but some people don't care. Some dentists don't care about any of this. Like, then some people might say like I'm I'm not thinking it in the right way or whatever.
Okay, so let's say I know you don't have the tools right now, but just going off of this fucking thing.
Yeah, sure.
Do I need braces?
Yeah. Is that your normal closing? Yeah. Do it again? Yeah, I would if I were you.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. You want to know why I think that? You have an open bite, bro.
What does that mean?
When you close, you see my teeth. I'm not saying I have perfect teeth, but you see how like it's closed?
They're touching points. Yeah.
So there's a concept in this is really technical, but there's a concept in dentistry where you mutually protect the back teeth protect the front teeth and the front teeth protect the back teeth. So when you're sliding around and stuff, they kind of protect each other. But when one side doesn't have that bite or whatever, it affects the way you speak. It affects like the appearance of it, but most importantly, foundationally, it like removes like a level of protection that your teeth have. So your back teeth now have it's let's say you remove a tooth, that tooth, like a premolar, okay? That premolar was sharing the load of like your chewing and your like grinding, but now that's gone. So now all that energy is going into this adjacent teeth.
Oh shit.
And the opposing teeth. So now they're doing like extra work. And then let's say you lose another tooth. Now the remaining teeth are doing extra work. So for you, I think just on a functional and aesthetic level, I would recommend like at least getting a consultation I'm not saying you have bad teeth. I'm just
No. I'm like, no, you're making me think because I wanted to live in ignorance about this. I did. I was like, dude, I'll just get rich and I'll just fucking replace him. But now that you're teaching me about what really happens, and it's better to keep the teeth.
Yeah, man. I think better to just, if you even think of like, for whoever's hearing this or whatever, if you even think about like, I want to get ortho someday. Yeah. It doesn't hurt to get the consultation to know exactly. Like, I'm not an expert in orthodontics. I got trained in Invisalign, but I'm not an expert. You should go to more experienced people to tell you exactly how to change this. But I would recommend it. Like, you should at least know the journey, where you need to get.
Because I went to one, and he was like really great in his field, and I wanted to just do Invisalign, but he was saying. And I only got one consultation, so I don't know. But he was saying, like cutting the gums and like shifting. I don't know. It was like super invasive, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. I think he was really trying to just make everything like perfect.
Can you smile for me? Oh, you know, you want to know another thing? Yeah. Your smile line's really high.
Oh yeah, the gums. Yeah.
so
Oh no, that's what he said. He wanted to cut some shit too.
Yeah. Like there's an ideal look that all teeth should have or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever. That's, cultural or whatever. But yeah, I think he was getting at your smile line. Like,
But that's more the cosmetic thing. So more than like just the ortho for the teeth.
Yeah, but then, okay, so this is where you can get in trouble, okay?
Yeah.
Let's say your tooth, you get into God forbid, you get into an accident or like you accidentally let your tooth rot or whatever, and you have to pull that tooth, right? It's that much harder to get like a really ideal situation because your smile is so large.
Yeah.
So I see I see your gum line.
Yeah.
And so if, let's say, the bone starts to decrease around your implant or whatever, I'll see the space. And I'll see.
Oh, you would see like.
It'll be harder to like hide.
Wow.
Like the things that are going on in your mouth.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the other stuff that doctor was talking about, I didn't do a full exam on you, so I don't know what he was looking at, but I would say probably to get like an aesthetic smile in his eyes, that's what he was saying.
Okay.
But I mean, ortho would be helpful to like at least put your teeth in the best position to succeed.
Wow. You know what?
Yeah.
And I spent so much more on this camera because I don't got like that insurance like that.
Yeah, sure.
So now I'm thinking, okay, well, you know what? I guess I gotta work harder to get money because I'm gonna be paying out of pocket for this shit.
You know what? You know what's sad? What? I don't know if I could afford it either, and I'm a dentist.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
getting there, but not yet.
Because the amount of pay you're getting is more for like building process.
I mean, yeah, I'm still in debt, right, from student loans.
Oh yeah.
I just started earning income in my late 20s, early 30s, right? So I don't have anything to build upon, and like something about healthcare like providers, when they come out of school, most of us don't know shiz about like finances because we never had to worry about it. We just had to get the loans to like pay for it or whatever. And if there are a lot of us who are business oriented, so I wouldn't speak for them, but a lot of us don't really know what's going on. So we don't know how to budget. We don't know like how to like save really well. So I was in that camp.
Oh, you were in that camp?
I was in that camp.
Yeah, you're like, I could cook to save money, but I'm gonna buy pizza.
I was getting Domino's, Chinese food, all that stuff. But yeah, dude. Better though, still better now than later.
Okay.
It's less expensive to fix it now.
Preventative measures.
Yeah.
Okay, then that might be a thing I have to.
Yeah, I don't want to add more stuff on your life, but.
No. It's better now. Like honestly, man, I the tension we were talking about earlier, and then the relief. I feel relief just knowing the truth of it, and then what I should do and or I can do.
Sure.
Instead of just just watching my mouth just fucking deteriorate or whatever. I mean, I know it's not the worst. Like I know a lot of it's cosmetic right now, but I don't want it to be the point where it's actually like an actual problem.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the sooner is better just because, like I said, by your 40s, your teeth have gone through a lot.
Damn.
So that's when they start breaking down. It's like your health,
Damn, that's true, dude. I haven't even been to the doctor in, even though like my opening joke is about Dr. Kim. I haven't been to the doctor, like a good checkup in years.
Yeah.
And I should go.
I mean, I
should go. Have you gone?
I've gone, but I didn't like my last doctor, man.
Oh, yeah.
He was an old Korean guy. And all
Did he fondle your balls?
No.
Okay.
He just told me I was too fat. And he didn't help me out.
He didn't give you any solutions?
No, he was just like, you're going to be fat for a long time.
Yo, Korean fucking like doctors, eye doctors, whatever, the way they just say shit is just like so blunt. It's like abuse.
I was like, how about keto? Or like, what about these? Like, he's like, forget about it. Like, you got to aim low.
Damn.
And so I was like, I was a dentist at that point, so I was like, this is not how you should be talking to patients.
Yeah, right. Like that's fucked up. It's like you're fat.
Yeah, dude, they're mean.
Yeah,
they're mean, and I think it's because
it's your fault. You're fat. Yeah.
They wouldn't do that to non-Koreans though. I think Korean people. I mean, Korean people when they see like you're younger and you don't speak Korean as well or whatever, they feel the freedom to be like rude as possible.
They think they're so much better than you. They do. I see it. They fucking think that shit. Like at first they speak Korean and they're so like fucking nice. And you're like, oh, actually, because they start saying some crazy fucking vocabulary words. And I'm like, I actually would feel a little better if you're speaking English. And they go like, okay, all right. So they go from like, oh, to like,
it deteriorates. My worst patient was, I think, a Korean lady who she at first like she love bombed me. She would bring me like food and she would give me Disneyland tickets, and I was like, oh my god, thank you so much.
And you guys didn't really speak at all to each other?
I spoke in broken English and Korean or whatever with her.
Konglish.
Yes, Konglish. But then and this is where like experience comes, because I wasn't able to identify what was causing her pain. And I understand because she was like in pain, but she lost her patience. And after all that like affection she would show me, she just started talking to me. She just started going off on me like
in English or Korean?
Korean. That's when you know they're pissed, right?
Oh, yeah,
they're not even trying anymore.
Yeah.
So,
damn, dog.
So I'm looking for a new doctor.
You're looking for a doctor? Yeah, I gotta go to a doctor too. Shit.
A non-Korean doctor.
A non-Korean, yeah. Because Koreans be fucking taking advantage of that. Like, Koreans love to use their elder status to shit on other younger Koreans. They just love that power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I had like the older Koreans just at a party go, hey, do 10 push-ups. And I was like, why? He's like, just do it. I'm older than you. You have to do it. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. And then he got so angry he almost wanted to fight me.
Was this a Korean American or Korean?
A Korean American.
Oh, is this like a previous generation of Koreans?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what it is about the Koreans who like grew up in the 80s or in the 90s. They really bought into that. Whereas like, dude, I feel like our generation, like we're like, why am I bowing to you in the hallways?
Yeah, I mean, I was at an opening of a norebang, right, and a grand opening, and then we almost got into this huge brawl with this whole other group because the older, like he was like 2 years older maybe than the little homie. He was like, you need to call me Hyung. He's like, I don't even know you like that. And then they started like fucking going at it, and then it turned into this huge like it was about to be a war, and then like knives were like people pulled out. There was like knives, butcher knives out. Over that.
Butcher knives?
Butcher knives.
Damn,
large kitchen knives that you use for like, you could chop chicken bones.
These are people who were raised in K-Town, right?
It wasn't Gardena, but I mean, probably. I mean, even Gardena has its own fucking
that's
thing
true.
too. So,
that's true.
I mean, I don't know, man, but like, even I bought into that before too. Just like, I almost wanted to fuck up my cousin because he was trying to just call me just Michael. And I was like, hey, I just went up to him and I was like, hey, you think I'm a bitch? You think I'm a fucking bitch? He never said that. But like, my dad beat it into my head of like respect in Korean culture.
How old were you when that happened?
Dude, I was like, I think I was around 18 to early 20. Like, yeah, under 20. And then they started getting comfortable. Like the guys like, oh, hey, Michael. I was like, what the fuck you call me? It's like, but that's my name. Right? I'm like, how dare you call me by my fucking name? Don't you dare call me by my fucking God-given government name. You better call me Hyung right now. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Oh my God.
I got over that, but it took me time to, because one of them was like, hey, no, I'm not trying to disrespect you, but I mean, I respect you a lot, but I was born in America, so it's kind of hard for me just to say Hyung all the time. Sure. And then this is the one that I was like, always had a softer heart for, and I was like, fuck. You're right, because I don't even like doing that either. I just happen to be the eldest Korean male in the cousins.
I was like, I did that to my brother too, because
David?
Yeah, up until I'm acting like you don't know him. Yeah. Up until like elementary, but then I don't know, something just I don't know what it was. I was just like, I don't really care about this. Yeah.
I mean, he shows you respect.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. You feel the respect, and honestly, that's better than a word of affirmation.
Yeah, but just like trying to add that, it's like, dude, like as a Christian, I couldn't tell you why. Like for a while, like I couldn't tell you why like sex before marriage was bad. Like, because I didn't know my faith, and even now I would have a hard time understanding because I'm not like a super like I haven't studied as hard as I should into my faith, but I just listened to things and I just thought you had to do it. And then
like a good Korean boy.
Yeah. I was just like, I just need to be a dentist. I just need to go to church every Sunday. I just need to be called Hyung, whatever. And then, but I feel like the way we were raised, you don't know why.
You know, like, why are you calling me young just because I'm older? Entitlement too.
Yeah.
Show me respect. Call me young.
Right.
Because I'm a year older than you.
It's like, dude, what?
That's why Koreans are fucking, like, Korean dudes, we go crazy.
That's where the Korean rage comes from.
Yeah,
like you
entitlement. We just figured it out.
We weren't taught to ask why.
Well, I mean, I tried asking why and I got my ass beat.
That makes me sad. That makes me sad to hear that. But
it's okay, man. It made me dumber. Hell yeah. No, I was kidding. Okay, so we're gonna get you out of here, but okay, for me, I'm gonna make it about me again. Last thing about this. So I know you said as soon as you can, but if I did it 2 years from now, it's still okay.
It's still okay. It's not an emergency.
Yeah, it's not an emergency right now.
Yeah, right. It's not an emergency. From now on, I'm just gonna see the open space. I'll be like,
like erupting.
Yeah, I'll just be like, oh boy, I don't know about those teeth.
Yeah, what are they gonna do now?
I just see dollar signs when I see.
I know,
the
right?
longer you wait, I'm like, oh man, even with the comedian discount, I'm gonna be like,
dude, if it just fixed my shit, I'd be like, just take my fucking money, so I don't have to think about it.
Yeah,
that'd be nice. If I had a bunch of money, I'd be like, dude, just fix this shit, make it good.
Yeah,
make it good.
Money would solve a lot of problems.
Dog, honestly, man. Literally yesterday I was talking with my friend, and every time, because we're in creative fields, so we have to justify why we're not making money. So it's always just like, right? It was like, look, man, like I get, like, money will be nice, but it's not everything. Every single time I talk about money, I would always have to preface it, like set it up with, it's not everything. And like, people get miserable. And I get that, but since I'm not money centric, I have other sources of joy that I am able to get shit from, satisfaction in life. So now I'm like, well, I don't think I need to keep telling myself money's not everything, because honestly, I would love money. So yeah, sure. I can take care of people, take care of things like the needs, the certain like emergency things, and have a certain like quality of life. Yeah. Now my brain finally was able to be like, look, it's okay to want that. It's okay to feel like that's a thing that you're trying to get without like selling your soul to get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Finally, yesterday.
Just yesterday.
Really admitting it to myself. Because it was like almost like a fear. Like I almost like felt like I'm gonna lose myself if I say that I need or like I want money. Like I'm gonna become like some like lost soul. And it's like, no, I'm good, man. Really, in my life right now, the only thing that would really help me a lot
is money.
Is really just money.
Yeah, dude.
And like everything else, I got great friends. Like I don't have a girlfriend at the moment, and that's fine. I don't need a girlfriend, but they come. The women come and go. That's just life. But like money, so I could, I want to take care of family. I want to do these things. Like that's it.
You want the options, right? Like the security and the options. That come with it.
Exactly. Because I don't go around buying Gucci. I don't give a fuck about any of that stuff. But just just knowing.
Sure.
That I can, be that guy.
Yeah, aimless need for money is kind of like, I think, what the Bible or whatever, like people talk about, like that's bad.
Yeah.
But dude, it's purposeful. When it's purposeful and you need it, ain't nothing better in the world.
Yeah, man. Wow, we did that. Well, okay. All right, man. Well, all right. We'll get you out of here. What do you want to tell the world about dentists that they should know? That you think that
most of us are trying to do the right thing. Oh, am I looking at the camera now?
Yeah. Okay. Tell the world.
Most of us are trying to do the right thing, but if they're trying to sell you laser treatments to get cleanings, they're ripping you off.
Laser treatments? What?
Dude, some places they're like, okay, like we can do the cleaning, but on top of that, we can give you this special laser procedure that, like, when it becomes like sci-fi, like the treatment that you're about to get, you have the right to ask them why. Ask why more at your dental office. I think that would be my one advice to patients.
Wait a minute. Is there like one or two other things that we should look out for? Now that you're saying that, just like a quick little
let's
scammy.
If you feel like they're like ripping you off, they might be. I don't know. Like, you always ask why. Like, I would always do that, especially if you're HMO. If you're on HMO insurance, man, you know what? I'm not going to try to find employment with an HMO office, so this is okay. If the incentive with like HMO insurances is like the initial cost of the basic treatment is super cheap for the patient, right?
Yeah.
But the way you make money is then like, okay, let me add this on. Let me add this on. I'm not saying like you need a crown lengthening here to like cut the gums and the bone underneath to like get more like tooth space or whatever. Yeah. Some of that is obviously like necessary, but when they start doing stuff like, hey, like we can add this extra like antibacterial like spot onto.
Oh, like when you go to a car wash.
Yeah. They're like, hey, by the way, we don't normally do this for patients. Yeah. And when they say stuff like that, it's like, oh, you normally do that for patients, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. So ask why. Ask why and tell them to describe it for you.
Oh, because then if they hesitate and they like, stumble over their words a little bit, then you can tell
when
they're
it starts
bullshit.
getting complicated, like dentistry, the things like behind the science and stuff, it is complicated, but the reasons you get stuff shouldn't be complicated. Keep it simple is like, you need to keep things simple. That's why you should ask why. And if it gets like weird and like you don't understand, ask them to repeat it again. And if they can't explain it, then maybe look for a new dentist.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wait, so the last question. So then my dentist, he did recommend me like, hey, braces and stuff could be good, fix that.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been pushing it on me the last 3 years. Is it just because he's like, I think he's like, Mike made a decision. He's like, but and
could be. I don't know your dentist, but normally you don't want to seem like this is again your mouth. So we don't want to be like, hey, we want this. Like you don't want like someone pushing it on you. So it's an art. Basically, you found the right dentist if they make you feel good. You have no idea what we're doing in your mouths, right? Like,
no, it makes me feel good. Like I don't.
Oh yeah, then it's the right.
He's the first one that made me feel good.
Yeah. If he's not pushing it on you, he's probably just like it seems like Mike.
He would even be like, I don't. We don't need to do the X-ray this time. We'll do it next time. Yeah, I don't want you to charge you. He would say stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he's a good dentist, then man.
Damn man.
Yeah, don't leave this one.
Thanks, man. I mean, you don't watch this shit, but thanks, dude. Okay. Wow, I can't even tell you how much this episode really taught me a lot about dentistry, teeth, empathy towards dentists, and I feel a lot more, good. I feel a lot more.
Yeah, I didn't realize
hopeful.
How much fun I would have to talk about this with you.
Right.
I'm a little surprised how like engaged I got with
about dentistry, right?
Yeah,
because part of me was like, I wonder if he's gonna hate that I'm making him talk about dentistry.
No, I actually kind of, I'm shocked too, actually.
Yeah, I saw the passion come out of you. I feel like this kind of reinvigorated something within you. Almost.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, you healed me. You taught me a lot about my flat ass teeth, and then I healed you.
Yeah.
So we did.
That's what I'm talking about.
We did it, man, dude. Korean connection. Well, do you want people to follow you on Instagram? Like, do you care about that?
Yeah, dude.
Okay. All right. Put it in.
My Instagram is comedy DDS Lee. That's comedy DDS Lee. I'm starting to get some shows. I'm starting to put some content out. So, really thankful to have your friendship, man.
Oh, I'm thankful too.
All right.
All right, guys. This has been another episode of the Setbreaker Podcast. And until then, I will see you next time. And fucking floss and brush your teeth, motherfucker. Okay? All right. Okay. See you next time. Bye.